by the time that everybody had stacked in, there was this built-in hierarchy of who could do what and who had first rights and all that stuff. So I would imagine the same type of thing occurs nationally. The first to be licensed and vetted by the state is the one who's going to call the shots, essentially. And when you believe either rationally or irrationally that your professional existence is threatened by the emergence of a new type of licensee, you're going to do what you can to make sure that you stay in business. Now, what we've obviously known over the last 15 years or so, it's certainly in the last 5, is that this explosion of, well, yeah, it's an explosion of mental illness, but it's also an explosion of demand for treatment. Nobody's running out of work. And I can comfortably say that in my state, but I think I can also comfortably say it in most other states where almost everybody encounters a wait list when they call. You don't encounter a wait list at Zephyr Wellness because we operate differently. But I think that's the center of the turf warring, is that there's the emergence of who was first, and the MDs really precede everybody. Although if we go way, way back, we had the barber doctors who were the original PhDs before the MD even became a thing. So not to get too historical, but the idea is that first on the block rules the block. Now, statutorily, depending on what your state statutes say, certain licensees are granted different authorities. So in Nevada, our psychologists are the only ones who can administer what are called psychometric testing instruments, which means they are the ones who can do the battery of assessments to ascertain through all their paperwork what it is that you're dealing with. They can do motor skill functions, they can do IQ tests, they can do all the sorts of stuff. The rest of us are prohibited by law. Now, it doesn't matter what my training is. I could go to the Pearson Institute and get trained in all those same, whatever they're called, the tests or the instruments or the assessments, but Nevada won't let me execute them. And that's because the psychologists lobby has essentially told the legislature, hey, we're the only ones who are qualified to do this. Now, it doesn't matter how much extra training somebody has from Ohio, who may be a professional counselor or whatever, and maybe that's part of their curriculum. Nevada says no. So there's that too. And that's exactly what happened to our poor professional counselors when they emerged onto the scene in 2007. The legislature stuffed them under the Marriage and Family Therapy Board. Marriage and Family Therapists took umbrage to that, and that's why they're called CPCs, not LPCs. It's just another little thumb in the back. And they said, all right, you can exist, but you can't treat couples and family. That's exclusively for us. Well, fast forward to 2019, and Nevada sucks at everything you don't want to suck at. We're dead last in everything, including mental and behavioral health care, especially for children. And children are part of families. And lo and behold, of the 50 states in the United States, 49 of them allow their professional counselors to treat couples and families. Where does Nevada rank? Last. So it seemed like common sense to allow those people to do what they can do literally everywhere else, while also removing this metaphorical closed for business sign that was hanging on our border to anybody who moved into the state. So we did that. Unfortunately, didn't move the needle. But I think that's those two things. The emergence of new professionals into the community perceivably threatens the existence of the existing ones. And also, who is statutorily allowed to do certain things under the scope of practice. And now, of course, we see things like community healthcare workers and peer support specialists and all sorts of subclinical, I guess, regulated professions. And I've seen and read some disparaging remarks about those individuals too. Not to mention the coaches, right? the ones that the life coaches that we all are supposed to spit on and look askance upon. And it's like, yeah, well, I don't know. Humanity's been healing itself for like 40,000 years since this iteration of sapien has been walking the earth. I don't know that we should take ourselves so seriously that we just, pull the rug out from under each other whenever we get the chance. Maybe we just let people continue healing each other.